This is Dennis Smith, and you're watching the Bronco Planet.
Well, howdy there, Bronco fans. We got Chris Shad throwing a little curveball at you. I wasn't supposed to be here, but hey, travel plans didn't work out, and everybody else was pissed at the counter but me. I was smiling. I was very happy. I'm like, hey, this is all working out. But anyway, we're here. Danny and I will be there to kick off something for San Diego game later in the week. But let's talk, Chris. Here we are again. We play a very tough team. 31-21. Broncos lose. Your thoughts?
Oh, it's Groundhog Day. Take the 3 losses. It's the exact same story. They played well. What we've learned is there is an elite group of teams in the NFL, and it's got the 49ers, it's got the Texans, it's got the Falcons, and I think today offensively we know that it's got the Patriots. And what we've learned is that Denver's not in that group yet. The silver lining behind it is we're not far out.
Yeah, you're very close. There's a chance to get there, but yeah, and New England comes in #1 ranked offense. You know, Tom Brady looking pretty sharp. I thought Peyton Manning matched him on sharpness. Actually had a little bit better stats, 3 touchdowns. Yeah. So you knew Peyton was going to do what he needed to do. I think he missed Tammy on one pass that he would probably wish he would have connected on. But everything else perfect for Peyton Manning. But you know what? Our defense really, really struggling. And New England had a balanced approach and a rough day for our buddy Joe Mays again.
Yeah, you know, the defense, you're going to look towards the end of the game and, hey, they sacked Brady a couple of times and they forced the turnover. But the reality, Shad, was 3rd and 12, 3rd and 17, you have to get off the field. If you're going to beat teams, if you're going to beat a team like New England, you've got to get off the field in those cases. Yep,
and here's what's really frustrating me, and it's happened 3 times now against all 3 teams that have been quality teams. Broncos' 3rd quarter approach. I don't know what they're doing in the locker room, but they're coming out so flat and so conservative. Now, I don't know, you know, is Peyton making these calls? Is it McCoy? Who is it? But 3 times in a row. So I went back and looked. I think against Houston and Atlanta, the first 2 drives of the 3rd quarter, we had less than 10 yards. And we start off this 3rd quarter with a run with McGahee, 11. And then we think, oh, okay, let's do it again. And on 3rd and 4, hand the Lance ball. Lance ball on 3rd down. You just stop Brady. And then what do? We fall short. We give the ball back. Brady goes back, which you know he's going to do, scores again, and now you're out of it. I knew when you handed that ball to Lance, I knew it was over. I looked at my wife and I said, game over.
Yeah. Well, and Shad, let's be honest. Go back to the very first series in this game. If you're an elite NFL team, you score on that drive. You don't leave the Patriots in that game. You score on that drive, and then we've seen it before from Thomas. He'll make the great play, and then he'll cough up the ball. If the Broncos are going to be the team in the second half that we think they will and win the West and make some noise in the playoff, this is a game, honestly, they should have won.
Yep. A lot of would-haves, could-haves, and should-haves, and Demaryius Thomas. I can't figure this guy out. 9 receptions, 188 yards, and yet a crucial turnover again. It didn't cost him in the Raider game since it was such a weak team, but to your point, when you're playing good quality teams, you can't mess up. You can't have stupid penalties, banning, jumping off sides when you're right by the ball. And even Champ Bailey, I thought, played a solid game, but they threw to him 3 times with Lloyd in the first half and all 3 completions, and you need someone to step up. We're going to talk a little bit more about what the Broncos might have missed out on and some things that they can do looking forward, but we're going to pitch it to our buddy Bill Sports Collectibles, who's always got great stuff whether the Broncos are winning or losing.
Hey Broncos fans, looking for a sports store that covers all your Denver Broncos needs? Look no further. Bill Sports Collectibles has you covered. Located off of Broadway in downtown Denver, Bill's has the largest selection of Denver Broncos memorabilia anywhere in the county. Looking for autographed helmets and jerseys? Bill's has you covered. How about old classic Broncos memorabilia, like famous Orange Crush cans? Bill's has you covered. Needing a favorite old school jersey or perhaps the latest Peyton Manning jersey? You guessed it, Bill's has you covered. So wait no longer, Denver Broncos fans. Bill Sports Collectibles has you covered, serving customers since 1981.
Gotta love Bills, man. Great memorabilia. We can go on and on about Bill. That's actually a positive, even in a cloudy day. It's good to see Bill Sports Collectibles. Sure. So, all right, moving on. Let's talk a little bit about Willis McGahee. He has done a great job for us so far this year, but
and McGahee's a guy that I love. I've been a proponent of him since he's come to Denver. It's been a guy that's going to get you the tough yards between the tackles today, and I think he'll be the first to tell you didn't make the plays they needed to make today. And he's not a guy that's going to hide from it. You could see it on the sidelines at the end of the game. Went to him twice. That could have been huge plays. Didn't make either play. And in the end, not that cost him the game, but you factor that in with the third downs of leaving Brady on the field, some of the other turnovers, you're not going to win a game like that.
Should you be running the ball, though, when we're down a couple scores, Manning's on fire? Do you question that call? Well, it was a long game. It was a pretty decent gain on that fumble.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I mean, here's my feeling. If you've got Peyton Manning as your quarterback, I probably wouldn't even have a running back on the roster.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have an offensive coordinator, and I wouldn't have a running back. And I'd let me. You saw when New England was at their prime offensively, it was no huddle, and you notice the difference between the two no huddle options is how fast it was.
Yeah.
It looked like you were watching Oregon play from a couple nights ago. I mean, he gets to the line. Go back and look at the disparity in the number of plays between what New England ran and Denver kind of caught up towards the end when they got the turnover there on the fumble after the sack. But man, that New England no huddle, it's not just a no huddle, but it is moving, and you could see how gassed the guys were on the defensive line for Denver.
Which is a little disappointing when you come from the Mile High City. You think, hey, at this elevation, you should be poised to go into New England.
I felt tired watching it. I was tired on the couch.
I imagine that. That's a little bit of a surprise. But anyway, that's I was a little bit questioning the play calling when you have a third down, and then the run with Hillman, who's not going to always give you the hard yards.
Right.
Didn't work, and then McGahee, right? When you need him, maybe go with the run there. But they threw that 4th and 1. You throw to the guy who everybody here, if you're honest, the Bronco fans, don't be alarmed here, but McGahee has terrible hands, always has, and not good at catching the ball, and he drops it. So, you're running Hillman when you need really McGahee running it. You need a pass to Hillman, and you throw it. Yeah. So I thought that got a little screwed up, and it cost the Broncos. Now look at who the Patriots, every time they needed it, who did they go to? Wes Welker. Yeah. At the end of the game, kind of seals it up. Who do they go to? Wes Welker. And don't ever, Jack Del Rio, have Joe Mays. We may be tough on Joe with some of his tackling, but Joe Mays will never cover Wes Welker, ever.
Well, for a guy that's being phased out of the plans apparently in New England, Welker.
Yeah,
no kidding. I wish we could phase out a guy with 10 or 12 catches a game.
Well, here's what my final thoughts say. I think Tom Brady's a great quarterback. I don't know how people wouldn't like Tom Brady. I mean, class act, great quarterback. But what rubs me wrong about this whole game is I'm not a fan of Belichick, and even worse, to see Josh McDaniels on the sideline just killing me. And outside of that guy I hate so much, we got another guy we hate coming up
going back
this week.
to McDaniels just for a second is, my feelings is he should have to take Tebow wherever he goes.
Yeah.
that should be, I wish Goodell would come out and put Bountygate and put the concussion lawsuits and everything behind him and just make one ruling that wherever McDaniels goes, he has to take Tebow.
All right,
that's all I ask.
And then, ironically enough, I think Tebow time's coming soon, because it's I don't know about the quarterbacks that play ahead of Tim Tebow, but they just can't get it done. Orton did not get it done last year, and Sanchez just stinking up the joint now. So real quick, Phillip Rivers coming up this next week. Danny and I will go into a lot of detail Thursday night, but quick thoughts.
Well, I hate him.
Yeah, well, that's
is that quick?
Worse than McDaniels? Who do you hate more?
Oh, geez. That goes back to my old standby. That's like trying to choose between cancer and diabetes. I'm not a huge fan of either one. Here, and this may be overstepping just a little bit, but in week 6, this may be, it's not a must win, but I think when that schedule came out and everyone looked at how hard the front end was, and I think the consensus is if you get to that bye week at 3-3, you're in pretty good shape because you face 3 of the top 5 teams in the NFL. And you lost to all of them, but you were in all 3 games. You get to that bye week at 3-3, you look, especially how bad New Orleans is now. You look at that back half of the schedule, 3-3 at the bye week. You're realistically looking at 6-10, which I think has got to win you the West this year.
I agree. If you want to win the West, I think you have to win this game. Sure, we're going to get them at home, but I think the best part about losing New England, I think they'll be fired up. They'll come ready to go, and I think the Broncos, although I predicted they would lose against New England, they had a shot. Broncos are going to beat San Diego. Guarantee it right here at Bronco Planet.
Yeah, Joe Namath, take that.